Mooch and Crap show. So wish me luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, dude, yeah, I'm keep on hearing about it, so I'm like pretty excited to see you do something on Sundays.
I'm waiting
Cool.
on what the hell's his name? Jay, man. He's been busy. He's supposed to be working on some graphics for me, so I'm trying to hold off for him. But I may just go ahead and go with what I have, and then change it whenever he gives me the information I'm looking for. So,
Nice.
Right. And we are live, people. The little pregame there. So everyone, welcome to the 34th Quest podcast. Yeah, that's right. 34th Quest podcast. I'm your host, Dark Optimus, for the evening. Let's get right into it with our special guest, Predator. What is up, bro? So happy to have you on tonight.
hey man, thank you for having me on. I've been making the rounds the last week or so. We were on Crossfire, or was it next podcast a while back? It was next podcast. Okay. Yeah, so man, thanks for having me on, man. I mean, we went through some good topics there, man. I like the way you handle things when you're in your podcast. And I admittedly said to you guys earlier, like I always miss this podcast live. I have to catch it later, but I'm up for you guys tonight, man. So let's get it going.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. I know we go on pretty late for a lot of people because over here on the West Coast it's 6 o'clock. So for a lot of people on the West Coast it's still
right on time, right?
still on time. People are getting out of work or whatever. I know over there on the East Coast it's 9 over there, so it's like bedtime, basically. Yeah. But let's get right into the panel members, and he's back. Everybody, he's our little Riri, and he's back. It's so awesome. It's Remix. What is up, bro?
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Glad to be back. I had a lot of fun over in Italy, but missed the podcast for sure, and can't wait to get on into things tonight. So yeah,
definitely, bro. Sir M. Baines, what is up, dude?
What's going on, everybody? M. Baines 99. Glad Predator could stop through, and glad to have Remix back. Little Riri, we missed you.
Yeah, I heard. Optimus was told me. He was like, man, Baines was like dying without you.
Time, man. I miss Riri, man.
Baines was all like, when is Remix getting back? I'm all like, I don't know, man.
yeah. I missed him. I missed the little man. So man, ready to have a good show, and let's get into it.
Definitely. So you guys all know we like to start off the show with what have we been playing this week. So I'm going to start off with our guest, Predator. What have you been playing this week? I know probably not much because you're dealing with the hurricane in Texas, but let us know what you've been playing, bro.
Let's see. This past weekend, I actually finally finished Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. I've kind of been going through my backlog a little bit, trying to get some of those games I've been just sitting around waiting to play, just didn't have time to play, and I need a chance to play my deployment. I saw that one. I was like, I need to finish this because I've already finished the original, so I figured I'd knock that out. I still got The Witcher in the I'm brewing that one right now. I'm gonna hang off until the X comes out and play that one to kind of see the differences. But playing a little PUBG on PC, some Mario Kart on the Switch when I get a chance. I'm taking a shit or something. And,
Nice.
and I'm gonna actually jump into that DLC for Uncharted this weekend.
Oh, nice, yeah. So. Oh, yeah. Baines, what have you been playing, dude?
I've been playing a lot of Battlefield, those new maps. I've been playing.
So you got the whatever premium pass or whatever.
They got your boy, man, with the trial. Yeah. I was like, man, I was soaked in, loving it so much. So yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I've been playing Agents of Mayhem, having a lot of fun with that one, and then Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Nice. Remix, what have you been playing?
Yeah, not much. We'll definitely have to hop into some of that Battlefield 1 Banes because I've been itching to play it, but my gold membership's been acting up. Like I can play some games, but not others, and I think I need to renew it. But there's no available codes on Amazon right now, which is weird because they're digital.
That's weird. Yeah.
But so yeah, I'll figure that out. But I have been able to play like Modern Warfare Remastered, so I've been playing a little bit of that just because I kind of have little bit of a Call of Duty itch with this, World War II COD coming out and the beta about. Actually, it's live right now on the PlayStation. So yeah, but that's it for me. Other than that, I've been kind of busy doing some other stuff. So
Nice, dude. And I've been playing some Uncharted Lost Legacy. Of course, it's awesome, but we'll get into that a little bit later. I've also been playing some Agents of Mayhem. It's all right. I mean, it's okay. It's it's definitely not. It's not grabbing me like I thought it would. It's fun though. I mean, it's definitely one of those kind of games that you can just run around and just do stupid shit in. What else have I been playing? I played a little bit of Forza Horizon 3. I played a little bit of Halo 5, and that's about it. So that's about it for my gaming this week, but hopefully get into some more Uncharted later. Speaking of Uncharted Lost Legacy. Now, I know Baines and I have both played it, but has anybody else on the panel played it yet?
no.
Okay. So, Baines, what is your impressions of the Lost Legacy DLC
I mean, so far it's pretty good. It's immersive, just like Uncharted normally is. They didn't go too far away from the blueprint. A lot of it's still the same, except with these two different characters, Nadine and Chloe, which is kind of good to get because you start to get a little bit of Chloe's backstory and things of that nature. She starts going through. Some of the things we didn't find out about her, in the earlier Uncharted. So that's pretty cool. And I like the dynamic between Chloe and Nadine. They work pretty well together. The banter is pretty cool. It's normal, like Uncharted banter between the two. They have some pretty decent, I guess, hitbacks at some of the things that were going through that a lot of our community was saying, like, too many crates, or a lot of people were saying, like, we don't know where Drake's brother came from. He just came because we didn't really know much about him until Uncharted 4. So they have a couple of lines where they kind of hit back at those at what people were saying. So look out for that if you're playing the game. But yeah, man, it's cool. I'm immersed. I'm as immersed in this one as I was in Uncharted 4. It looks phenomenal, as Naughty Dog always do. They provide a really good product, So
yeah, definitely.
I'm loving it. I'm loving the game.
Yeah.
Cool.
On what you're talking about, I definitely think that this Uncharted Lost Legacy is an absolute blast to play. I don't think if you have a PS4, definitely pick it up. It's fun to play. I wouldn't say it's the best thing in the world, but it's definitely Uncharted. Definitely feels like it. Definitely an experience that you probably won't get anywhere else. I know a lot of people try to compare it to Tomb Raider. Those games, they're kind of different. The gunplay is a little different. The climbing's different. The graphics are different. There's just so much in these games that are you can tell the difference in them. But with Lost Legacy, I feel like I've had more fun playing that than I have with Ages of Mayhem. So that tells you right there that's something that I'm enjoying. I have it, because there's moments in that game where I'm like, oh shit, and you get that almost with every Uncharted game. And so it's awesome to have that again, just for this little experience that we're getting. Have you beaten the game, Baines?
No, I'm on chapter 4.
Oh, okay. So you're on chapter 4. You're exploring. You're going around.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm on chapter 6. So
I don't know.
there's 9. There's 9 chapters.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm on chapter 6.
I'm really taking my time, man. Like, just trying to explore every time I see something that looks like an opening, I go, and I found a lot of little, the treasures and different coins and stuff like that. So, I mean, it makes you want to explore if you like Uncharted. Right. If you enjoy Uncharted, you enjoy the banter that they have between one another, just, doing certain things, then you'll want to explore because you'll want to hear more about it. Because, like I said, they give you more and more as you explore. So, I mean, that's one thing that's good about Naughty Dog.
Right.
They know how to let the story out piecemeal, but it still gives you, it makes you feel immersed in the experience,
Right. And that's what I like about this one, is that the fact that it's more open to exploration this time around than other Uncharted's, because the other Uncharted's were more linear. You kind of if you wanted to find all the treasures, you'd have to kind of dig into the game and really try to find them. And I feel like with this one, it kind of lets you go out and explore, and I think it has more of a the treasures aren't easy to find, but they're easier than the last 4 Uncharted. So that's,
or I mean, you could say you've kind of, since you've played all the Uncharted, you kind of you're used to knowing what to look for. So that may be a reason why it's easier now too. So.
Right. Exactly. Definitely.
I think what got me on this was after hearing, I haven't played it yet. Because I just got my PS4 earlier this year, so I went through the Uncharted 4 game, but I've not played the DLC yet for this. But I could see them. I mean, it's already been kind of talked about with them doing a spinoff of the Uncharted 4 series with just this game and extending it out more than just DLC. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for them to go in and do this for people who are fans of Uncharted, it's always a good thing for us to get something like this, because now it shows that people are wanting still want Uncharted, but maybe with other characters. And I think Chloe and Nadine kind of have that chemistry together that Sam and Drake didn't really have, and they go back and forth with each other, and it's awesome. And it's playful banter, and it's just it's just a fun ride throughout the whole game.
Now I will say, like, during my experience, Nadine kind of got on my nerves the first couple of chapters, because I mean, I don't know if it was something, it's a glitch in the game, something was wrong, but a lot of times when we would get in firefights, like, she would just go off and stand, and I'm sitting here trying to handle stuff myself, and I look back and she's just in the corner. And when everything's done, she's like, "Oh yeah, they're all gone." Of course they're all gone. I took care of them. You wouldn't do anything. So I don't know if it was a glitch, but because it seems like now,
I've noticed that
in more firefights, she's more active. But I don't know if anybody. So you've been noticing that too?
Yeah, I've been noticing that too. I mean, she just stands around. She doesn't really do shit.
She's become more active now, and I hope she continues to do so.
Right.
But,
so who's the main character of the game, or do you get to play
Chloe.
as both of them? Okay.
Chloe.
Yeah, Chloe's the main. You get to play as her only. You don't get to play as Nadine, which I thought was kind of like, maybe they should have done that. They should have allowed us to kind of get in the shoes of Nadine, just to kind of maybe she has a different type of play style. But they were like, nah.
I like the way they changed the combat with Chloe a little bit too. Like, she's
like the hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, the hand-to-hand combat. Yeah. So.
It definitely was cool. It was just like, okay, you can tell that this was, a woman fighting a man,
right,
which is definitely a plus.
Do you think this is going to be like something that they continue with Chloe, or because I know they have so many other characters that they can explore, especially if you think about Drake's daughter got introduced, and then you got Sam and then you got his brother, and then Cutter's an old school character that fans of Uncharted don't know about.
Well, I mean, we had an article on that, and kind of talk about like future Uncharted and stuff, and I haven't played the Lost Legacy yet, so I don't know where they'll go with that. But it obviously, like they've said multiple times, grew into a bigger game than like a bigger standalone little game than originally. It was just supposed to be kind of a smaller DLC. I feel like the natural setup of Uncharted 4 was kind of like they could spin off and go with Sam, but I think it'd be really cool to explore those other characters as well, especially just for fan stuff, like bands being able to explore these other characters. And I think, that's definitely a possibility. So
I think that would be really cool to be able to explore all these other characters that are in the Uncharted universe, like maybe even Sam. Hopefully, maybe have him have a better storyline this time around than in 4.
Yeah.
Maybe even Elena Fisher, I think is her name. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Elena.
So you could get Sully and Sam, and you could get Elena, and then they have his daughter that was introduced. So
but
get her too.
I think the magic of Nathan Drake and Sully is always still going to be there though, because it's like man, there was moments where I was like, man, I wish it was more Drake and Sully.
See, I didn't get that. I got it. At first I thought I was going to be like that. I thought I was going to be like, well, I'm gonna really miss Drake. But once the story started, I was like, okay, no, I'm interested in Chloe. You know what I'm saying? So I can see them actually taking this further. They could take Chloe and make an Uncharted Lost Legacy Part 2. I don't know how it ends. I haven't gotten to the end, so I guess we'll have to see.
Right.
But they could go on with her. Once I got into like Chapter 2, I was no longer thinking about Drake. So.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some moments there that I was like, that would be that would have been a good part for like Sam and Sully going at each other about things. But other than that, the game is really good. If you haven't played it, definitely pick it up and play it.
Yeah.
But we're going to move on from that. And we're going to talk about Biomutant, which is THQ Nordic's new RPG. Now, did you guys see this game? It looks pretty interesting. It looks cool.
It does look very interesting.
It looks really cool. Now, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I like the little description they have. Open world. What did they say? Post-apocalyptic kung fu fable. Sounds pretty epic. But I think they said something a little bit about it having maybe like some Dark Souls combat, which I'm not as interested in. But I mean, like I thought the little couple pictures they had and little trailer. Now that's just a cinematic, I believe. But the game looked really good if that's what the game is going to look like. And I'm really interested to find out more about like the little like raccoon cat character that you'll be playing at. Because like some of his facial expressions kind of made me chuckle a little bit. So I definitely want to see more on this game.
Definitely. And I saw the little like little gameplay that they did. You're gonna be able to customize this little character that you play as, and that's awesome. Like I was just like, oh man, that's kind of cool. That's different. That's something we haven't seen before. Like as a creature that we haven't seen. Like he's like a rat or a mouse. I don't know what the heck that thing is, but it's still cool. It's like it's still cool that we haven't seen something like this before.
Yeah, I believe you'll be augmenting him.
That's
go ahead, Predator. Sorry, doing it right.
And the weirdest mixture of characters that I've seen in a while. Like you got a rat and a pig here, and I was watching the gameplay footage right before the podcast started, and I was like, the game looks great. It's just like I don't know what the fuck I am, So, so it's really good though. I like what I saw. It's a really interesting game. It's not if I had to base. This is how I make my decisions on buying games. Would I buy it now? No. Would I buy it later, like after release and heard a little bit about it? Definitely. It looks like a decent game that I can pick up later on when it's on sale or something like that. But I didn't see more of it. I didn't really see enough of it. And get a little bit more of the backstory too.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. I need to know the setup and how all the combat works and all that good stuff. But I think this game's still a little ways out. So
Yeah, it seems like the combat style is going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty. What's the word? There's going to be a lot of choices with your combat style, and then
I saw guns and knives, and you can craft your swords and stuff like that. So,
and also you'll have a lot of choice with your player makeup too. Like he looks like a raccoon, but you'll be able to change him with some type of with a lot of detail. So that seems cool. And it seems like his abilities will change the way he looks in appearance and stuff like that. Look, I'm interested in the game. Like he kind of, even though he's a raccoon, he kind of made me think of Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja.
Yeah, I kind of got that feeling too.
Yeah, so I was automatically stuck. Like, okay, Splinter. So of course I want to see. I watched a little bit of gameplay, but it was like you could tell it was really early. It was kind of rough.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's going to be a cool game, post-apocalyptic type setting. So I guess we'll have to wait to get more of the raccoon's backstory and see what is actually going on.
No one knows what this thing is. That's the thing. We're like,
well, even in the article, it's
like
a raccoon thing.
Yeah, exactly. The article didn't really give you that much detail. But from what I've seen of the game, I'm interested. We'll just have to see closer to launch. But I think this was probably the most surprising announcement in Gamescom so far, right? So
yeah, this was one of those. Well, I mean, it kind of leaked out the night before, but I think it was one of those games that took people by surprise because we really didn't know what it was going to be. We didn't know if it was going to be just an action game, but it turns out to be an RPG that THQ is doing.
Yeah. So looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to learning more.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good game, man. I mean, well, I don't know if it's going to be a good game, but it looks good. I mean, it looks like something that's going to be right up my alley because a lot of people, if you don't know, I play a lot of RPGs, and that's definitely probably going to be one of those anticipated games on my list right now. For next year or whenever it comes out, because I think Darksiders comes out next year, so this one might not come out until maybe 2019. Who knows?
I thought it was 2018 release, but I mean, like,
did they say 2018? Okay,
I thought I saw 2018, but like, I mean, when I saw it, like, okay, I'm interested. You have my attention. Now, let me see what you're gonna do with this. So, there might be one of those games you pick up, like it's like that lull period that we usually get in the summer. If it comes out around that time, it's the perfect time for that game.
Oh yeah, if it comes out around that time, then it's probably gonna do really well.
Mm-hmm. And like the game is called Biomutant, so how you mentioned the kind of the augments a little bit. So like as you'll like change different traits of your character, his look will change, and I think you have like biomechanical like augments or something like that. It kind of looks like, which I'm really interested in seeing how this play out. Maybe my little furry raccoon can be like a big beefy ninja guy. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to make, like I said, I'm gonna try to make my dude look like Splinter if I do pick it up.
That'll be cool.
It says December 2018. That's why it placeholder.
Okay, so it'll come probably in fall 2018, if anything. But yeah, it definitely looks like a cool game. Definitely, if you guys don't know what it is, definitely go check out Biomutant. You can find a bunch of stuff on it right now because there's so much stuff going on at Gamescom right now. But we're gonna move on from that and talk about Fear Effect Reinvented remake. What do you guys think of this? Are you guys even excited for it? Do you guys even know what it is? When I looked at it, I was all like, I've never even heard of this game. I didn't even know this even existed. Like I was just like, remake? I was like, what? So what do you guys think about it?
I'm wondering, like, who wanted this? Like, because I looked at some old gameplay and I'm like, what? I mean, the premise of the story, like, it seems like it's cool. These what do you call these mercenaries are trying to go get the daughter of somebody or something so that they can hold her for ransom or something to that effect. So the story, I mean, the premise seems like it's cool, but the gameplay I saw looked like I was like,
Yeah.
So
I'm on the same page.
they would have to
Who the hell?
they would have to do a complete rebuild for me to be interested in that.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. But I'm on the same page. Like, who the hell wanted this? I've never heard of the game either.
Right.
I just saw like a little like snippet of it, but yeah, I don't know. It just also doesn't really look like it would be my style game. Anyway, so I call this a pass. So
Yeah.
let's move on.
The Kickstarter, correct, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing it looks like. I think it is a Kickstarter remake, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we've kind of haven't we learned our lesson from these type of games that are Kickstarter, kind of getting their start on Kickstarter. Like, I mean,
we've had a few good games too. I
There's a few
mean,
that come
there's
out
been
there,
there's
but,
been quite a few games popping up on.
but
Kickstarter
I
that
mean,
have come into
they're
fruition.
far and few in between, like
Yeah,
Kingdom
they're
Come
far-
Deliverance looks like a really good game, but then like you'll get some other games, like we'll get into one later. I won't discuss it yet, but you see what happens. This is what I think about Kickstarter. I think it's a good platform for people that are trying to get some money to make a game, but they have to actually release a game.
Right.
And it's like, and sometimes you get some stuff out of Kickstarter that's kind of like you make you scratch your head at, like, what the fuck is this? But like you guys were saying, like, who asked for this game? I had no idea what this game was. I really had to dig information on this game, and also it was like a small little teaser trailer. So like, it's just like this game came out of nowhere. And when you read it, it makes it seem like it's a cult classic. Like I was like, I've never heard this game my entire life. The original I didn't hear about. So you're making a remaster of something that no one ever heard of before. So like, so how does this work? But even taking out the fact it's a Kickstarter game, it's just like it didn't look. What I saw of it just didn't really appeal to me. So like someone else has said, pass.
I definitely have to agree with you. On that one. It doesn't look like a game that I'm gonna even want to pick up or even think about picking up. I did want to pick up Mighty Number 9. That was also a Kickstarter game, but that had some fair and unfair reviews. I had some mishaps there. And that's why, I think to myself, like, any of these games that are getting kickstarted, it's kind of like just be weary of what you're really putting your money in for.
Plus, you're also kind of like indie, put it in the trash bin. So,
well, that's true. You're right. It's an indie, so trash. Speaking of indies, we got another indie here. That's EA Originals title. Fee is coming out in 2018. What do you guys think of this? It might be Faye, it might be Fee.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but I don't care because it's trash. It's indie trash, people. It's a niche title.
No, it's not. No, I'm going to say right here. I feel like this is going to be pretty successful indie. I don't know. I didn't really play Ori and the Blind Forest, but its art style and premise are a bit different, but it kind of gives me that same feeling of like Ori and the Blind Forest a little bit, So I don't know. I feel like this actually has potential to do pretty well because Ori did very well, and that's getting a sequel, and some people really like that game. So I could see this actually being a pretty successful game, on the indie scale anyway, for EA and whatever company is actually developing it. I forget the name.
EA hit us with Unravel. Now they're hitting us with Faye. Faye looked, and I kind of thought about Ori when I saw it too. It seems like the gameplay dynamic is cool. You're using like your voice to interact with, whether it be enemies or whether it be animals that may be your friends. And that's how you get to navigate throughout the different areas, and the art style, like you said, look really cool. So yeah, it would be definitely something I would give a look. Like I said, EA hit us with Unravel, and I haven't played Unravel, but anybody that has played it, it seemed like they liked it. It's pretty good. So EA may be trying to step this indie game up here. And
that's the thing. I took a look at it. I saw some trailer of it. It looks good. I'll have to say, for an indie game, it looks good. It looks like something that I may actually pick up and play. I don't know yet as you know me with indies. But yeah, I definitely took a look at it. It's definitely a beautiful game. It's definitely going to be, something that's going to showcase on each platform it's going to be on. And it's for an indie like this to come out around I think 2018. I think it was like early 2018. It'll be kind of nice to see something like this, more in the future, hopefully.
I'm glad EA is branching out a little bit and giving the indies a chance, because like typically when you hear of indies, you hear of like Xbox or maybe PlayStation supporting those indie titles. And now that we have another developer like EA actually reaching out to indie developers and giving them a platform to succeed on with the backing of EA, it's really good for those indies. But I think EA is really smart. They're picking titles they think are going to sell. Like Unravel did really well. This game's going to probably do really well. And when I first saw EA Originals, the first thing I thought of was Unravel, because I mean, I bought it. I didn't really play it. My daughter played it, but they're picking up games. It seems like that are more, I want to say, more kid friendly, because EA doesn't really make a lot of games like that, and it's just branching out their portfolio a little bit, giving you games other than sports titles and Mass Effect and stuff like that, and giving you other games that other people can play. So I thought the game looked really good. It was a game that was like, the first thing I thought, I was like, my daughter might like this, So might be a pickup for me. Not necessarily for me to play, but for my kids to play. So
yeah, cool. And it does actually look a bit more open, like like how you can hop on different various like creatures and kind of roam and fly around and stuff. So I'm interested to see how the world plays out, and all the gameplay stuff. I'll give it a look. I might not pick it up, but I'll give it a look.
Well, you could probably get some type of discount with EA Access anyway, too, if you got EA Access.
True.
Well, I don't have.
And also, they price it right. Like Unravel, I think was like $20. If this comes out around that same price, it might actually do really well too.
Yeah. I mean, it's an indie, guys. Who cares?
He does this all the time. He's like, "Yeah, I'm actually interested," but
something that I'm interested in right now is the future of streaming, is licensing. Now, this is something you put in the DM, right? Remakes.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, man. I'm kind of interested in this because it seems like
I knew you were gonna do this to me. I just I just saw like the title, and I was like, I didn't read the article right away. I was just like, oh, that might be interesting. Throw in the topics, but so they're just kind of talking about all these various companies like Mixer, Twitch, YouTube that you can stream from. They all want to grab the good streamers and bring in that revenue. So, and just how like they're licensing with these other companies, because it can kind of get hectic with all these people coming in, and they want to make money, but with copyright infringements, you can't make money. So, but they also have these deals with, like I think it said, YouTube has a deal with some kind of championship, like pro gaming championship company, to where those can only be streamed on YouTube, and various things like that. But
yeah, I mean, to me, I was like, I was just reading, and I don't know, man. Like it was saying like a lot of streamers can get hit with copyright strikes, but because the developer may not want certain stuff to be streamed, or and it was saying that the future is probably with licensing the right to stream the game from the developer, so you don't have to worry about copyright strikes. But then I'm like, okay, if I buy the product, I then own the license. Why do I have to worry about what you care about if I'm streaming or not? Like, that's the part I don't get.
To me, I think it's like like if I'm streaming something, streaming your game, I'm giving your game.
You should be happy.
Yeah, you should be happy. Exactly. Right. I'm giving your game recognition. You should be paying me for that. Like, why am I like being like hindered from being able to play a game and talk about it? Now I know, like, let's say the game sucks. When you come out and you're like, hey man, this game is garbage. Like, they take that into account. It's gonna affect their business. But like, if the game's like really good and even if you're just a mediocre streamer, some people are watching you. Like it's going to help your business. Like,
I mean, some games, you know, are stream games. Like we call them stream games, and that's where their business comes from, is from streamers, and that's how they grow and get big. But damn, you know, this always happens to me.
I read it a couple of times, and because I guess I just got confused because I'm like, okay, because when we buy a digital game, we get 2 licenses, right? And that's how you're able to share the digital game, because you get 2 licenses. So you have 1 license, and then your game share partner can use 1 license. When you buy the hard copy, you only get 1 license. But the similarity there is you are taking ownership of the license. So why do you have to worry about, you know, a developer coming back to, you know, give you a strike based upon you streaming the game that you purchased?
Yeah. Well, I feel like this could also deal more so with maybe like external companies outside of gaming, such as, you know, obviously music is a big thing. If you have a lot of video games use copyright music, and you can't monetize that stuff on YouTube. And also, you know, like on YouTube, you have this whole big deal with, you know, you can't cuss in your videos or else you might get demonetized and so on and so forth. And I think that's because, you know, companies are having their ads on these YouTube channels, and they don't want their ads to be associated with, you know, people cussing and all that stuff. You know, they don't want to be associated with vulgar people. But you know, it's just kind of you know, interesting. Like looking at like a little bit of like the business stuff sometimes, I feel. But what's going on, Daz?
Why it's an old sound.
We got somebody from over across the pond in our hangout right now. UK Daz, what is up, bro?
He said something. He went back.
I heard him. It's like I guess he'll chime in when he can. But you guys got any more thoughts on the future of streaming? Is licensing?
Like I said, it's like you got to think like we just got Mixer on the Xbox, and then we got streaming on the Xbox X, and it's like there's bad timing for this, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the one last thing as well. Sorry, Benz. It kind of mentioned also like people trying to entering the streaming market more and more. You know, obviously you have Twitch and YouTube does a little bit, and then Mixer's coming into play, and I think other companies are trying to secure their own streaming sites, and it kind of talked about that competition a little bit as well. So, and I think that's why there's this big grab for all this licensing stuff as well. So everything will have exclusive content.
I spoke that in it.
What, Daz?
What's up, Daz? Can you hear us, man? I don't think he can hear us. It's all good. We're gonna move on from the whole streaming is licensing thing, and we're gonna talk about the Xbox One X stuff, man. What do you guys want to talk about? Anything you guys want to talk about? Let's talk about it now, about the X. For me personally, I'm excited for this damn console. It's gonna be an awesome console. I'm just so, you know, jonesing to have something that I'm gonna be able to showcase and be like, hey, check this out on the X, you know. And plus, it definitely, you know, from what we've seen at Gamescom and things that we've seen in the news, it's been crazy this week with Xbox One X, hasn't it, guys?
The X, what is that? What are you talking about?
Gamescom
Who bought that thing?
But like I said, I was telling you guys earlier, I just watched the Digital Foundry video, and they were talking about how they got their hands on a lot of the Xbox games that they didn't really get to see at E3, and when they did see the games that they did see, wasn't really running on an X. And so this time around, they got their hands on a lot of these games, and they were running on the X. The controller plugged up, everything was working. And it was several of these boxes, and they were really impressed with the output from the X. So that kind of got me hyped, because I was like, okay, this thing is starting to really show and prove. If Digital Foundry is sitting there like it was almost like they were gushing through the video, like this is
Why is it all south?
Say it again.
Can you hear us? No. All right.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Can't hear us.
They got me a little bit more hyped about the X. But for me, it's going to be a big upgrade over the S, and it's going to be an awesome place to play on my multiplayer. So, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Now, as far as Gamescom, that was a damn snooze fest.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but at the same time, I think it was I think they played it right by putting the X at the end and letting people pre-order at the end. Because I think a lot of people, if they would have done it right in the beginning, they would have
not paid attention at all.
They wouldn't have wanted to know at all. They'd have been like, "Nah, fuck this shit."
Yeah, that Scorpio Edition X does look sexy.
I'm gonna get in.
You're in?
Nope.
I thought you said he's in.
All right, I know, like he's talking, but he's not there. Great.
Yeah, but Modimus. All right, so this is just like for. I was kind of talking to Odimus about this the other day.
My volume and shit was turned down.
Nice. But so we're talking about this a little bit.
Oh, that's gonna get in.
What is going on right now, Daz? Can you hear us?
Hold on.
There he is.
You can hear us. Okay. But you want us to hold on the podcast, man. We can't hold.
He says hold the floor. Yo, I'll get into my rant here in a second. Somebody else go.
Are we talking about the X still?
Yes, we are talking about the X still.
Well, yeah, excited about the X. Who was that said that a minute ago? Was that you remix with? No, it was Baines. So like, only thing I was looking forward to for this whole conference was the price. Everything else was just like whatever. It was like, I know we're kind of blending topics here, but like it was a snooze fest for me. The whole Gamescom. I just kind of held out to get the price so I can pre-order. Not the price, but the pre-order dates and stuff like that, and the times they're going to release for the pre-order. So like, I'm impressed with the X. I'm glad Digital Foundry has gotten their hands on it actually and been able to kind of look at some things, but I know they're going to go a little bit more in depth later. But what I've seen so far is exactly what Microsoft said was going to happen. As far as, it says a powerful console, things are going to look better on their console. I'm interested in seeing how some of these backward compat games look when I start playing those games, because from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, those titles should run better as well.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so like I'm looking forward to seeing what some of those titles look like. And some of the older titles. I mean, like right now, I think they said like 110, roughly 120 Xbox enhanced games coming out. And so like my backlog has just gotten a little bit longer because now I'm going to end up playing some of the games that I have not, that I finished and maybe just rushed through. And I'm going to do the same thing Digital Foundry is going to do. I'm going to pop in games I already have just to see the difference, just see what it looks like, I think what's more surprising to me is the fact that the thing has sold out so well. It's been selling so well the last couple of days.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, here we fucking are. Yeah.
How you doing, man? You doing well?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Fucking Hangouts is on Smack tonight. Here we are.
We're just talking about a little bit like Xbox One X talk and a little bit about our like impressions on Gamescom right now.
Gamescom, fucking hell, what a waste of time that was.
You're picking up the X, right? I mean, you're definitely going to pick up the X, right?
Not straight away. I'm not. No. The reason being I'm not picking it up straight away is because it's fucking nearly Christmas, man. And there's kids and shit.
Yeah.
All that bollocks.
Nice.
So I will be getting it next year when it comes down in price, which it'll come down in price the same time as the S did.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think you have something there, Daz. I think definitely that console's probably going to go down in price next year. Definitely, it's right around Christmas time. It's definitely gonna probably drop to like maybe 400, maybe even cheaper than that. Who knows? 350.
Well, I mean, we'll have to see now because the Pro definitely hadn't dropped in price.
That is true. Well, that's because the X is coming out, so they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, they're market leaders. They don't have to drop the price because they're selling it.
Wait till next year. They'll bang the X out with games and shit, and it'll come down, or you'll get a bundle price.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you.
All right, so real quick, my thoughts on the X. Like I was saying, so Optimus and I were talking the other day, and Optimus, you were a little bit, I'm gonna be going against the grain here now. I thought you were on my side a little bit, but now he's like, nah, I'm 100% X, bro. But anyway,
left out in the cold.
I am. So originally, I was gonna just pick up the X in the summer after, and it's something I still might do. But as of right now, I've kind of decided, nah, I'm not gonna get the X at all. I'm just gonna wait for the next Xbox console.
The X Slim.
Yeah, like the big generational jump, and that's because, I mean, like first off, and these are for my own personal reasons why it just doesn't kind of make sense. Is like first off, I'll be going to college. I can't just save up my money anymore, and I got a monitor that's only a year old that's not 4K. I'd have to upgrade that along with buy the X and stuff like that. But the reason that like the price for upgrading to 4K and getting the console don't add up for me is that I feel like everything that people are talking about with the X right now, what they want out of it, and that goes for the Pro as well, even though that's been out, just is not totally hitting all those dots. I mean, it's still going to be a great experience, but it's not hitting all those points that everybody wants. And I think the next console will. Over time, these upgrades are going to be very minimal. And I think like that next console, this goes for the PlayStation as well, like the PlayStation 5, that's going to be more of like the premier console that people are looking for. As well as,
are you becoming a pony, bro?
I do. So, and my other thing is like, these games like I'm playing here on a little monitor. These games still look good on my OG. I don't need that X. And if my X did crap,
exactly remix. It's like you play your fucking game on the big telly, TV, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you play it on a smaller TV. Your eyes adjust within minutes, and you don't notice a difference anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, if my OG craps on me, I'll go pick up an S, because they're cheap and they do what I want, which is play the games. Which brings me to, the X isn't gonna have any exclusives. If the X had exclusives that I couldn't play on my OG, I might be enticed to pick it up. But I'm enjoying these games where I am, and so I don't need to drop $500 to play.
To have
the
a
same
few more air
games,
particles or a few more tree leaves and shit. Yeah, I'm like there with you.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know, and I just, damn it.
I agree with you, man. If you don't have a 4K
you're with,
TV,
you're with
and you
the
don't,
UK, but man, I'm getting fucked up here. I'm getting off track.
Yeah, I'll throw you off.
I'm trying to help you, man. Like, if I understand where you're coming from, dude. If you don't have the funds, you don't have a 4K TV, you don't have, like, there's no sense in upgrading.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the game. It downscales at 1080p, et cetera. However, if you have an S, you have an original, those games are gonna still play the same, against each other. So unless you're just like really one of those knuckleheads that just wants an expensive console with better graphics, like you want the best that you're gonna get, then get it.
Yo,
but
PC.
if you,
I saw you.
See, that's me. I'm the guy that's like, I gotta have the new hotness, I'm all like, shit, man, I gotta have that, and that's why it kind of bummed me out, because I was like, I wasn't gonna get it at first because, well, I pre-ordered it, and then I was planning on canceling the pre-order because I was all like, I don't know, man. Some things are coming down the pipeline that are coming up that are going down in my household that I wasn't going to be able to pick it up. And then I was just like, you know what, man? Something came into the pipeline. Yeah, I was like, basically like, fuck it, you know, like I'm probably gonna.
Dash brought up a good point too. He was like, it's the holidays, and that was one of the knocks I had against him releasing it in November. It's
like me. I've got fucking school uniforms to buy. So as a wife, you know what I mean? And they've got fucking a wedding to go to. They've got this, that, the other. It's like there's a couple of £100 there.
They should have actually released this in August, and that's what I thought. I've been saying that since the beginning of time. If they released it like the DS in August, it would have been fine, and like you could have actually gotten it in August, put some money for the holidays after the fact. Because like for me, like typically, like I have a kid, I have 3 daughters, you know, so like I buy them everything over Christmas break. I save up all my fucking money over Christmas, over this time of the year to buy them whatever I want. And Christmas for me usually sucks because I don't really want anything because I've already bought it. You know what I'm saying?
We don't want out because we get fuck all. That's why, because we're spending all the money on them.
We spend on ourselves throughout the whole fucking year. Our kids get satisfied during the holidays. So like, I'd rather have bought my own Xbox in August and then saved up money between August and November or December to get them what the hell they wanted. But they release it right in November, 2 weeks before fucking Black Friday. You know, so
yeah. For you know, I agree with you on there. You know, with a lot of people who have kids, it's kind of a tight situation right there. But for me, I don't have any kids. I don't have to worry about it. So, you know, basically.
I don't know, man. For me, it's been working out to where like I've always had something to trade in that I got and thought I was going to use but didn't use. You know, so I've like right now I have like I think $278 left to pay on my X, and I haven't paid a dime out of my pocket, and I'm still waiting on the coupon for $150 to take off of for my S, you know, so I wound up paying like $134 for the X.
Did you trade your Pro back in, or not?
No,
all right.
No, I traded in my regular PS4 for my Pro. See, I wound up paying $140 for my Pro, and I wound up paying $134 for the X,
which isn't bad.
Yeah, so if you're telling me, I'm like, it's an upgrade, but yeah, for me it's $134 upgrade. I'm gonna get that. I have two 4K TVs in the house. You know what I'm saying? Let's run it. You know, let's get that right.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to like deteriorate from picking it up. I'm just, you know, trying to throw out some priorities, reasons, man. Like to not necessarily just fall in with all the hype as well. You know, like one other thing, I'm just interested to see where these, you know, where the console cycle goes, like between PlayStation and Xbox, because they're obviously staggered a year right now. Right. And I think that probably PlayStation, I don't think Xbox really has much incentive to, you know, move up the timeline, but PlayStation might have to, you know, bite a bullet for an extra year or two or whatever. And so that they can be on the same track with that Xbox, because, you know, they don't, you know, when the PS5 comes out, they'll be like, oh, we have the most powerful console. But right before release, you know, Xbox would just come back and be like, oh, no, just wait a year and we have it. And then PlayStation gets stuck for, say, 4 years with like the worst console. And these increments are going to go down, you know, like the variation between the two consoles are going to be very minimal in the future. Yeah.
You know? And to be honest with you, I think this is my last like console. Like I'm going to keep the lowest common denominator from now on, and my goal is by the end of the year to build me a PC, and then I'll keep the lowest common denominator for each console from that point on. You know what I'm saying? So
for me, that's going to be like the next console.
So I won't get caught in this this iterative console, because it's just a money grab, man. It really is. Yeah. It's a big money grab.
But you bring me to one other thing, Mace. So the other thing is, I feel like a lot of people kind of misinterpret the whole backwards and forwards compatible thing. I think all the games, like from whatever games from the OG and 360, and then all the games from the, you know, Xbox One, all those games will play on future consoles. But I don't necessarily think that like let's say the PS5 or the whatever the next Xbox is, I don't think necessarily. I think those might have console exclusive titles compared. So I also want to wait on see on that with that because the wording to me is a little iffy. Like, will those games play on the X? And I think like they definitely can do that, but I do think they're gonna have to chop some consoles. So let's say they have the family of 3 consoles. They'll chop the OG Xbox One X, and then have the S, the X, and whatever their next console
they've already chopped the OG Xbox One. I guarantee you what's gonna happen is they'll start phasing out the S, and like not like next year or anything like that, but like give it like 3 or 4 years, they'll just stop producing them and then drop the price of the X down to what the S is now. So you'll see an X like in maybe like 3 or 4 years down to like maybe $299.
I don't think it'll be that long.
Yeah,
I'll give it a year.
We'll see what if PlayStation comes out with a PS5 here by 2020. You'll see the X probably about $299, $199, somewhere in that frame. But like we're thinking way too far ahead right now. But
so I think like slowly dropping consoles is the route that they'll take. I feel like that's the most consumer friendly.
Yeah.
Well, even Phil Spencer has said it that he doesn't want to do these 2-year iterations either. He wants to make sure that we're getting the best that we can that's going to last us for a little bit longer. And you guys got to remember, in the beginning of this generation of consoles, we were already at the lowest point, especially with the Xbox and even with the PlayStation 4. We were, PCs were blowing both consoles out of the water. And for them to come out and do something like this for both, companies from both companies, it goes to show that they were desperate and they needed to do it because the games
weren't. PC are just getting better and better, man.
Right, and the games were starting to look better on PC than they were on the Xbox One and on the PS4. So they decided, hey, we got to get these consoles out there so we can have a fighting chance against PC and I think with the X, I think a lot of the people that are getting it now, I think a lot of people are getting it because of the Scorpio edition. They're like, oh man, that's cool. Having that little green, Project Scorpio lettering on it. I think that is cool.
It would have been cool if they packed in the game.
I think this console,
right?
Real bad.
Since like the. Am I botting? So much.
Yeah.
You're botting.
Anyway, the Project Scorpio.
Am I good?
Etching is cool, but I mean, like I said, the value to me would have been in the pack-in game. Like they could have did a Shadow of War because that comes out before the X releases, right? Or an Assassin's Creed, or packed in one of the games that. I thought that would have been a good for your diehards because those are the ones who are picking it up now anyway. Like I don't way it's selling now is the same way it's going to be selling in January, February. People get all hyped up about it's sold now, it's top here, it's top there, yada yada yada. But I mean, this is I would expect this right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's talk around January and February. And that's when you'll really start to see.
That's when they drop $50 off of it.
But I also think that the X is going to last us a lot longer than this generation of consoles have. I think they're kind of they're looking at it as it's at that point where they can kind of sit back and kind of relax a little bit after the X. And so hopefully maybe I don't think it's going to be like a 10-year cycle. I think it's going to be maybe like a 5 or 6 year.
5.
Yeah, it should be about 4 to 5 years. Because you got to think it's going to be 4 to 5 years before. Because if they have 6 T-flops now, and they still basically stuck with the same CPU with some adjustments, right? Apparently the CPU is the heavier cost. So in order to get a CPU in that box that's going to do way more than what these consoles are doing, it's probably going to be a while for something like that drops in price, right? So if they're talking about even if the PS5 is talking about releasing in the next couple of years, I mean, don't you think it's still going to be that's going to be a $599 console because of what gamers are going to be expecting for that product to put out at that point in time? You know, I don't really think you're going to see another one of these consoles. I'll be surprised if you see another one of these consoles, not $599 but $499. I'll be surprised if you see them below $499. I think the PS5 will be $499. I think the next Xbox will be I think $499 is going to be what you should
standard price.
Yeah. From this point.
Well, and that's the thing. That's why, you know, like I'm happy with what I'm gaming on now. I just want to see where all this console cycle bullcrap goes, and you know that's why I'm holding back on pulling the trigger, and I will and kind of waiting for that next console generation, because I think that's gonna, you know, have every game 4K HDR, and the games that need it are gonna be 60 frames per second locked, and because ultimately, you know, both the Pro and the X are held back by their CPUs, you know. So.
Right. And you bring up a good point there, Remix. You know, with the CPUs, yeah, these are basically, both consoles are using, you know, custom Jaguar chips, and you know, what are we gonna get next? Are we gonna get something that's really gonna, you know, take us to the next level with PC wise, or is it gonna just?
I mean, if you've actually been looking at some of the PC stuff, they have some pretty amazing. They're expensive, but some pretty amazing CPUs like coming out right now. So, and you know, those will, you know, drop in price, you know, in 4 or 5 years, whenever the next console is. So,
well, that's the thing. I think a lot of people, you know, saw the Ryzen, you know, and what you know, AMD was doing, and they were like, oh my god, that's going to be in the X, you know. And I think that kind of got blown out of proportion, and you know, because now we know that it's not going to be Ryzen. We're not going to see Vega, you know, in our console.
Yeah. I think something like that would have been the console that everybody wanted. You know, like people, you know, talk about the 60 frames. The fact of the matter is, you know, there's going to be plenty of games that still just aren't going to be able to do 60 frames, and I think. If you had put that chip in there, it would have been able to handle it. But that's where you get, you know, probably your $600 console.
Yeah, $600-$700 console.
That is true.
Be really turned off by it at the same time. You know?
Yeah, that is true. I think you're right on that one. You know, people would have probably been like, "Nah, I ain't paying that much money for this," because they would have probably been like, "Well, then I'll just build my own PC." But then they would have realized, like, PC, you know, it takes a little bit, you know, time to actually build one.
Like me myself,
it costs you as much to buy a graphics card as it would the next.
Right.
Especially if you're talking about a really, really, really good graphics card. But me myself, I'm looking at like a goal of a year, you know. So I'm gonna try to pick products here and there, you know, maybe find them at a discount to have that PC built by the end of the year. And my goal would be for my PC to at least be on par with or above what consoles may be when they come out next. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Be a little bit above or at least on par with, you know, the next iteration of console.
Right. Yeah, and you know, like a couple months ago, like I said, like, you know, I'm gonna buy a PC, which I was like so close to pulling the trigger, and you know, I was, you know, gonna get a fairly nice one. But ultimately, I was just like, you know, I don't want to bring like something brand new and nice to college, and that's the same thing. You know, that's why I was originally gonna wait with the X. Like, I was just gonna, you know, wait until, you know, like the next year when I have like an apartment of my own and everything. So that's another reason. Like, I'm just like, stick with the OG. If it gets stolen, it doesn't really matter. You know,
right, and that makes sense for you. You know, that makes sense for you, and I would agree with you on that 100%, because you know, you never know with those thieves over there in Oregon.
I'll tell you what, man. I built my first PC maybe about a year and a half ago, and I went to Micro Center and I said, look, dude, I want state of the art shit in my shit. Like I want my shit to be future proof. He's like, well, he gave me this quote, right? Put everything out there for me. Here's what you need. So we got an i7, we got a freaking GTX 980, Ti. We got all the shit that I needed for it, like shit, $2,000, and that wasn't even the fucking monitor. And I was like, okay, so when I need to upgrade this, what I need to do, he's like, oh, you can just swap this out. So literally 5 months after I got my PC, got it home, the 1080s got announced.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's no PC is ever going to be future proof.
Yeah.
You can build ones that have longevity before you need to upgrade. But but once you have your basic shit, it doesn't cost that much. It doesn't cost that much in the grand scheme of things to upgrade every, say, 4 years or whatever, But
that's why I was saying my goal would be for longevity, not just like future proof, but to put myself in a position, like I said, when the next iterations of consoles come out, I'm at least on par or maybe a little ahead. But you're never going to be fully future proof because they just dropped a 10 teraflop graphics card not too long ago,
something like that.
Yeah. So
see, for me, I'm not gonna. I already have my PC, but I usually use it for the podcast, and I usually use it for other things like PUBG or whatever. But I don't want to sit in front of a monitor and a PC every day. So that's kind of one of the main reasons why I'm getting the X is because I know I'm not gonna be spending any more money on my PC. It's just I don't need it. I don't need to have a 1080i or 1080 Ti or whatever to be satisfied with my computer. I just don't need that kind of thing. So I figured, I'm not going to get anything for my computer. Might as well just, go with getting something that I can enjoy with, which is the X, I think.
Yeah. I do think for the price, and if you can afford it, you got a 4K TV. I think the X is probably where you're going to want to be for a few years.
Yeah, because I agree with you guys. Like, I don't think I'm gonna after this iteration of console, I don't think I'm gonna get the next iteration right away. I think I'll wait and see what's gonna happen. Because I think this may even be the last true disc tray console that we have. It might just go digital at that point and no disc trays, and it'll just be
well, yeah, because in 5-10 years there'll be no fucking Blu-rays anyway. It'll be all it will be all digital.
That's true.
Right. It'll be all streamed and stuff like that. So but the best way to get 4K right now is still, disc-based content, and it's gonna give it to you. Just saying. But we talked we talked a lot about the X. Now we kind of went into Gamescom a little bit. We had a little bit of the impressions on Gamescom. Now, I'm not just talking about the Xbox Gamescom conference. Can you even call it a conference? I'm talking about like Gamescom as a whole. Like, what did you guys see that you guys wanted to maybe talk about? Besides the stuff that's already in the topics already, was there anything that you guys saw that you were like, oh my god, I kind of want to talk about that right now, just to kind of get away from talking about the X?
Well, we know Mike, your boss sounds like Scooby-Doo.
Honestly, I didn't catch that much of Gamescom. There's just like too much like crap going on. Like I don't really care to just watch all these little interviews. But I was really hoping for Borderlands 3, which I don't know if that's typically a PAX thing or not. But man, just like come on, Gearbox. I see you doing some other stuff. You're publishing We Happy Few. You got this new game 1v1 coming out, 1v1 project thing. Just give me a little Borderlands 3 news, you know, just bring it.
Maybe
Right.
Borderlands is having some type of development issues, and so they did that deal with the We Happy Few to kind of bridge the gap. You think?
Well, they've actually like Gearbox has actually been like publishing a few different like kind of smaller things lately. So I don't know what they're exactly doing, you know, just because like I mean they are a publisher as well, so maybe they're trying to just expand their company a bit there. But I don't think it's having development issues. I think it's just they typically I mean I always see Borderlands at PAX. That's normally where I see it. So I don't know when the fuck PAX is. I don't pay attention. But that's probably where it will be. I was hoping it'd be here at Gamescom, but they did send out something about like Project 1v1 is like not taking resources away from Borderlands. It's actually helping it. And I think that has to do probably with some kind of online server thing, like in Borderlands, if you know, like there's these duels. So like it could have something, which is a 1v1 basically. So like it could like improve that or something. I don't know, but it's kind of, you know.
Yeah. So you were kind of disappointed that they haven't done a Borderlands yet. I mean, we still got 2 more. I think we still got what, 1 more day or 2 more days yet of Gamescom. So we may see something there. Yeah, it probably would have happened already. You know what, you guys ran on my fucking parade, and I've had it. No, you know, the only thing that I was actually excited for with Gamescom was basically being able to pre-order the One X and just hearing stuff about Destiny 2. You know, from now on, I think I'm with Baines on this one. We were talking about it before the show. I think I'm gonna stay away from seeing or hearing or even talking about Destiny 2 because I'm excited. I want to be surprised when the game comes.
Yeah, and think about it. You really only have another week or so.
Exactly, dude.
Before it comes out, so.
Really not that much longer before that comes out. But since we don't have any more impressions on Gamescom,
it was a snooze fest.
It was definitely a snooze fest, definitely. But there was a game that was shown off at Gamescom called Shenmue 3, and it got its first teaser trailer. Now, to me, this game looks like fucking trash. I cannot believe they put this trailer out there. What is this? I'm like thinking to myself, like, this looks like, you know, and I liked Shenmue, the first one and the second one. The first one was on Dreamcast, and I got the second one on, I think, the Xbox, the original Xbox. Now, I'm all like thinking to myself, I see this trailer, I'm all like, really? Like, I get it's a Kickstarter game, but still,
I think it was made in 2010.
Like Shenmue 2.
It's like I said,
go ahead.
It's like I said yesterday on the Foods podcast. Just play the fucking original on the Dreamcast. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it looked like, and it was just like,
I mean,
what did they do?
How much, as far as you know, how much capital did they actually have to make the game? Though I think what you're seeing is indicative of the money that they had.
They had a shitload of money though. I thought like they were getting.
I think
money.
it was the last thing I heard was like 10 million. But how much is like some of these bigger games that we compare it to? You know, how much money do they have? It's way more than that. So, I mean, I think like I said, what you're seeing is indicative of the money that they had to work with. And you know, I haven't played any other Shenmue, so I could care less about the game. But it had some spots where it looked decent, but the facial, I don't know what they did with the faces in the game. Like that
they all look constipated the whole entire time. I was just like,
do you see how far apart those eyebrows are?
It's basically a fan service game. Like I said, I can't kill them too much because I know they're working with a strict budget. But
yeah,
I thought Sony was kind of helping them with that.
Nah, Sony's not helping.
Funding wise.
Nah, I think, you know, people were thinking like once they got to a certain point, then Sony would step in. And I thought I had read one time that Sony was stepping in, but no, this is Kickstarter funded. You know what I'm saying? So they're not getting help, and you can tell.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, you know, honestly, I think this game, you know, should also, being considered to be on the Xbox as well. But I mean, it's definitely going to be on PlayStation, as we know. If you guys don't have any more thoughts on Shenmue 3, Remix wants to talk about crossplay, so we're going to talk about crossplay.
Real quick, have you guys ever had any have any of you ever played the other Shenmues?
No, yeah, I told you I played the first and second one, dude.
Okay, my bad. So how were they?
They were fun. They were definitely unique for the time. They were filled with some QTEs that we didn't see those back then. But they were definitely a fun experience. They're definitely cult classics. When I saw Shenmue 3, I was just like, ugh, like, well, what are they doing to this wonderful series?
But I've heard that it's more with that series. It's more about the story. So
it really is. Yeah. So I mean, of course, yes, we're gonna have to wait to see what the story is gonna be. But I feel like they could have done something, given us maybe just some words or something, like give us something. All they showed was just facial animations and graphics, and I'm like, that's probably not the best teaser trailer.
This is the thing with Crackdown 3 when they put that out there, the little demo they had a couple of, I guess maybe several weeks ago. When you're gonna put something out there like that, it's the first time someone's actually seen it. Make it good, because that first impression is a motherfucker, So and this, even if I was hyped about the game, I wasn't hyped about Crackdown either, but I wasn't gonna buy Crackdown. I'm damn sure not gonna buy Shenmue based on what they showed me. So if I was on the fence about it, what you're showing me in the beginning, that's gonna basically make me swing to the other side of the fence instead of wanting to get the game. So if you're gonna announce something like that at Gamescom, bring your A game. I'd rather them show me. I want them to sell me on the game. And what I saw from Shenmue, what I saw from Crackdown 3, I'm pretty sure you guys talked about that too a couple of weeks ago. What I saw, it just didn't impress me. So at this point, I'm just I'll put that to the side.
Yeah, and that's the thing that disappoints a lot. Since you were talking about Crackdown 3, it really disappoints me. When I saw the footage, I was just like, what is going on? And we'll see what happens when it comes out next year. We're not going to be talking about that, though. I don't want to get too much into Crackdown 3.
Everyone's beat that to death already.
Yeah, they definitely beat that to death. But we're going to talk about crossplay because I think Xbox and PlayStation are in the talks of actually doing maybe some crossplay in the future.
I've heard this before.
Do you guys want that to happen, or you guys?
Well, the reason I kind of want to talk about it is just I want to talk, about the future prospect.
Remix wants to talk about crossplay.
What if it did happen? What if it did happen? Honestly, I don't think it makes as much sense on the company side. Besides the fact that it makes Xbox look good because they keep saying oh, we're trying, but PlayStation is refusing. But I do think it is good for players, and in the fact that you have a larger player base, and if your friend has a PlayStation and you have an Xbox, you guys can play together. And
just think of it in terms of Destiny. Say you had a character on Destiny on the PlayStation, and you just for Destiny 2 you want to play on the Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe you could swap, go between and keep your same character. You had some friends on the PlayStation, you got some on the Xbox. You can transfer your character from system to system. I think crossplay would allow something like that.
Yeah, which I think is actually one thing that kind of eliminates the benefit for the actual company. Then you would feel less enticed to buy the same console as your friends if you know that you can play with them even on the console that you want, right? Because I think we all say oh, my friends were here, that's one of the reasons why I got it along with others. And I don't know, I think also with crossplay and the future of having very small differences between two consoles, that's just gonna happen because the rate at which our technology is increasing is slowing, is that God damn it, you're gonna be able to there's gonna be more emphasis. There's gonna be more emphasis on I think things like services and things like exclusives as well. Because I think exclusives will be bigger hitters because there's less reason to buy both consoles because you can play with whoever besides exclusives and besides their services, right? And I think that's probably one reason. Like, I think Xbox has the better services, and that's probably why they're in the service game, because in the long haul, it's going to pay off. They're going to have a lead on PlayStation. And so yeah, I'll stop and let you guys give some input.
Yeah, I mean, the crossplay thing, them going to Sony and you know, kind of trying to get this in the works and trying to, you know, really talk to them and say, hey, you know, let's do this because it's gonna benefit all of us, is a good thing. And if Sony agrees to it and says, hey, let's do it, then, you know, and they might not do it for every game that they have. They might only do it for just certain games, maybe like Destiny and Call of Duty and things like that. Of course, it would be kind of nice to play against, you know, people who are on PlayStation or, you know.
Yeah, because honestly, all those COD players on PlayStation suck. So,
so they might get better. You know, who knows? But I think in the long run, I think it's definitely going to help. You know, like you said, with exclusive games, it'll definitely keep people warranting to want to go out and buy these exclusives more so than just buying the multi-plats. Because I mean, right now a lot of people just focus on multi-plats, and they should be focusing on exclusives for these consoles because they want their consoles to sell.
I think one of the hang-ups with this is because I think with crossplay the way it's set up now, I guess initiated by Microsoft, it would be like, I think people who are doing it on Nintendo have to have Xbox Live accounts or some type of Xbox Live account. And I think that may be one of the bigger issues with PlayStation, you know, because they don't want their customers to have Xbox Live accounts. And then that would help out Microsoft because it would puff up their Xbox Live numbers, you know. So they need to work that kink out. And then I think maybe Sony may be more, you know, amenable to crossplay. We'll have to see. But I mean, this was brought. Well, there's the big rumor. I won't say rumor. The big word is that Sony came to Microsoft with this, and Microsoft didn't want to do it. And now, you know, Microsoft comes to Sony, and Sony don't want to do it. So,
right.
You know, it just depends on how it's done. You know. And the media seems like they're keeping pressure on this thing. Every other day, you hear something about a dev saying, "Hey, crossplay is ready," but Sony's saying no. You know, so if you keep seeing a lot of those articles, you have that media pressure out there too. They'll probably fold, but they'll probably if it's the case that you have to have a live account to do it, they're gonna have to work that out because Sony's not going to agree to that. They're not going to agree to say, okay, our player base has to have a live account. That's not going to happen. So
right.
For sure.
I don't think it'll work anyway because you've got your fanboys on both sides.
Yeah.
And as soon as this crossplay comes in, it's going to cause a whole new war. I tell you.
Yeah.
More fucking bullshit.
Definitely. So Pred, you wanted to do a little outro here, man? If you're still there. Is Pred there?
Yeah, I'm still here, so I had my mic muted. Hey, I gotta run real quick, man. I want to apologize to the people in the chat that are watching and people who are tuning this later. I gotta run and handle some business with this hurricane stuff real quick. So, just want to do a quick outro. Thank you guys for having me on. I will promise you guys, if you guys want me back on to finish up another podcast with you guys later on, I would love to come back on and do that. Check me out. I'm gonna start a podcast here on Sundays, right before the Mooch and Crap show. Quick 30 to 45 minute podcast. I appear on Crossfire, and I appear on the next podcast on Saturdays as well. follow me on Twitter, Predator_H2OS. Same with Xbox, same with PlayStation, same with Steam. God, I don't know what my Nintendo Switch ID is because it's too fucking long. But I apologize in advance for having to leave, man. I just
all good, man.
We appreciate
Sure,
your
we
time,
understand. We're happy to have you on, man, and glad to have you on. We'll definitely have you back.
All right, thanks, guys.
Definitely go check out Pred's new show when it comes on Sundays because it's probably going to be fire. So
Yeah, I'm Jay Williams, man. I'm with that Jay, man.
No problem. They definitely going to be fire.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I will definitely try to tune in with you guys when I'm not on a little bit more on your live shows. I enjoyed being on with you guys. Sorry I couldn't stay, but I gotta go handle.
It's all good, man. All good,
right,
bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Later, Fred.
Thanks, guys.
I'll see you Saturday, Pred.
Yes, sir. Bye, man.
Bye.
All right, yeah. All right. So you bring up a real good point there, Baines. I totally agree with you with the whole live account. I think they definitely need to figure out some little business things like that. But I think and it might cause an uproar, and it may never happen. But I do think that, into the future, it's a possibility. And in the future, it's a possibility that either all games or games that don't have any exclusivity, like rights to them, like DLC, or an actual first-party exclusive game, could possibly, eventually at some point, all be cross-play. Now, this might be 15 years, but I'm just talking about future prospect because I kind of like talking about that stuff.
Yeah,
it'd definitely be cool.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we can think about coming down the pipeline. But we're gonna move on from that and talk about Immortal Unchained. A Dark
I thought I was going to say Mortal Kombat then. Okay,
Immortal Unchained, no. Immortal Unchained, a Dark Souls style third-person shooter. Did you guys check this out? Did you guys see anything on this? It looks pretty cool. It looks definitely like something I would actually play. Yeah. But I mean, I kind of like, oh shit, Dark Souls. Is it gonna really, be so much like that I'm not gonna want to even touch it? What are you guys' thoughts?
If you're talking about third-person like shooting type game,
right?
It sounds interesting. Like now, to me, when you say Dark Souls, I'm thinking, okay, they're saying it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, people throw around Dark Souls.
Yeah, way too much.
Yeah, they really do.
But I'm hoping that unlike those games, that it has good lore within the game. Like you're going through the story, you don't have to go and find the story. As long as it has that, then yeah, I'm all in it. I don't care how hard it is. I just don't like to play a game where I have to basically look for the story. And that's my whole issue with a lot of those games. But from what we saw, the little trailer piece looked cool, but we really didn't get that much information. But I'm definitely interested in the concept.
Gameplay is just kind of like, oh, this guy's about to get hit, and then he slams a sword, and then he dodges, and that's it. So yeah. But as everything, I'll keep an eye on it. Probably not going to be my kind of game, but we'll see. Maybe since it's bringing shooter aspect to the genre, I'll be more interested in it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's coming to a more third-person shooter type of style, and that's why I have interest in it, because I'm like, oh, that might actually be interesting and fun to play. But when they say Dark Souls style, like Baines was saying, with the story, if they go that kind of route, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna be interested in this at all. If they definitely don't have a concrete story. If I have to go around trying to find the story and like pages and different things like that, not for me, man. Not for me at all. But Daz, do you have anything on?
Say what's fucking about.
Do you take a look at Immortal Unchained at all?
Yeah.
I've had a quick look. Yeah, it's like I've done Dark Souls, the first one. I don't know how the fuck I did that, but totally lost on. I've got no interest in it, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it probably won't be for everybody. Definitely one of those games that I think it'll probably be swept under the rug. I don't think it's gonna be too much hype for it. I think it's gonna be like We Happy Few, you know, where everyone's just like, "Oh, it's coming! Oh, really? Oh, shit! Okay."
Hey, maybe in preview. Hey.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll move on from that and talk about Raiders of the Broken Planet. What did you guys think of this game? It's an indie game, but it's an indie game that looks fucking badass. And I know Baines is into this game.
Hey, day one.
Tell us what you think of it.
Hey, I just like the at first the gameplay. You know how it flawlessly switches from gunplay to hand combat. Like, I think there was some older games. I want to say, was it like Siphon Filter? Maybe not Siphon. It was one of the games where you had a dog with you. Where that game also, this was back in the day. I think it was PS2 maybe. And that was one game that did pretty well.
Was it Dead to Rights?
Dead to Rights. There it is. Dead to Rights. It did pretty well with going from gunplay to hand-to-hand combat. That was cool. But you haven't seen another game like that in a while, and I think this does it. I mean, from what I watched a lot of gameplay, and I mean, it seems like it's pretty flawless. Now, the story aspect of it is kind of cool because you can be one of 4 characters, and then so you're going through the story of whatever that may be, because we really don't know much about that yet. But you can have a opposing player who will act as the antagonist on the coming at
like
you.
random. I think at random points in the storyline, fifth player could come in and send enemies your way and shit.
And also fight with the enemy. So it seems like everything I'm seeing so far, it seems different enough, and it's really piqued my interest. And the way they're dropping it kind of like a Telltale kind of like release. And so, it's almost like Telltale with an action game type format, which is cool,
Yeah,
something different.
And it's indie, and I'm actually interested in it. So that's got to say something right there, right? I mean, because like you said, man, it's definitely unique enough and cool enough that I'm like, and it's got that Telltale, release type of episodic release that I'm like, okay, maybe I can dive into this. Maybe I can play the first episode. If I really like it, then I'll pick up the other episodes. Instead of just buying them outright right away, because I know Telltale.
I hate Telltale.
Well, then you're probably gonna hate this game too, Daz.
I do. Yes, I do. It bores the shit out of me. Press this, press that. Fucking, what is the point?
Well, it's not Telltale.
Well, yeah, it's not.
The gameplay is totally separate. It's just has the release model. It has an episodic release model, like Hitman had an episodic release model,
like Hitman and Life is Strange and things like that. Yeah,
Life is Strange is more like Telltale.
Hey, don't you dog Life is Strange, okay?
but
I'm not dogging that. I didn't dog that. I'm just saying Telltale.
But I'm real interested in this game as well. I feel like I'm the one that brought it to you guys, but like a few months ago. But yeah, man, I'm into it. It's that 4-player co-op type games that I'm really
remix, man. I think I brought this to you guys, so
he got me thinking like, okay, did I hear it from remix first, or did I hear it from somewhere else first? I'm actually thinking about it now. You know what I'm saying?
See, I'll take credit. But anyways, that kind of game I'm real into, and like you guys said, it's doing some unique things, like the a fifth actual person coming in and playing the antagonist in certain parts of the games. So that all sounds real interested. I'm pretty much on board for this game, and something worth mentioning for like its release model also is I don't think they have a specific date in September, but in September it's gonna come out with the 26th. Okay,
22nd.
26th
of this year or next year?
Yeah, this year.
This year? Oh shit!
Yeah, this year. So it's gonna come out with a prologue, which is free, which is like I think the first 2 missions, which kind of set up the world of this game, and you're gonna have full access to whatever the multiplayer aspect is, which I haven't really seen much of, but so that's all free. And then on the same day, you get the first like package, which is worth $10 of the story gameplay called Alien Myths, and that's gonna have however long that is. And then they'll periodically release 3 more, I'm assuming at $10. But all the stories are going to be standalone, they said. So there'll be separate stories. So you could hop in at any time if you wanted. I mean, personally, if I were just a random person, I would play them all because you want to be like immersed in this world. But yeah, it's kind of cool. So
yeah, it looks cool. It's definitely something that would be right up my alley of game. I know it's an indie, but I'm definitely gonna check this one out because
for $9.99.
I mean, it's a higher end indie though.
When I saw gameplay of it, I was just like, "Ooh, this might be something." I'm
That's what I thought too. Remix. It's kind of like a hybrid indie. It's not. When I'm looking at it, it didn't strike me as an indie at all.
Yeah, like I don't know who said it, but somebody said like that like indie reel that Xbox had was like top notch, and like Raiders of the Broken Planet, I think Cuphead, some like Strange Brigade, like bigger indie titles that definitely have a bit more money behind them were all in that lineup there. So
yeah, I mean, we'll see when the game comes out. I mean, probably won't be picking it up right away because
I definitely won't be.
$10.
Coming.
$10. You throw away $10 somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, $10
right now, Baines. I got to get the Xbox One X.
Yo, I guess. Yo, Optimus, I'll buy it. Don't you worry. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll probably pick it up off the bat. I don't know if I'll play it off the bat because there are so many games, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely, man. Any other thoughts on any of the topics tonight, fellas? Before we get into these outros.
Nah.
Nope.
No. All right.
I just joined halfway through, so I got.
He's like, I have no clue.
Hey, yeah, we gotta get Daz back on the full show in the DM, and we gotta have you
definitely,
back,
definitely,
man.
Daz. Definitely.
Oh, I'm coming next week.
Yeah, that'll work.
yeah. We're gonna have. So that's kind of a little special thing for next week. Daz will be on next week show. He hit me up and he wasn't going to be able to come on this week, but he hit me up in the chat and he was just like, "Hey, yeah, fuck it, send me a link." And I was like, "All right, man."
Man.
But
luckily, I'm not on the job, so I'm watching. So why not?
Yeah, definitely. So Daz, where can people find you, man?
Oh, find me on Twitter at UK Dazarus, YouTube the same UK Dazarus. Also on Mixer, the usual shit.
Definitely, man. Definitely. We're gonna get into the panel. Remix, where can we find you, bro?
Yeah, Remix Essence across the board, everywhere. Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation. Here every week. I always say I'll do something on Mixer or maybe even YouTube, but I don't. So don't worry about that.
All that usual shit.
Yeah. And I'm glad to be back, guys. It was good, and see you next week.
Yeah, definitely, dude. We were happy to have you back, man, and stuff. Baines, we can't find you anywhere, but we know we can find you on Xbox
and PlayStation, and Baines 99, and Remix. Man, I'm so glad to have you back, man.
Yo,
and Daz, we appreciate you coming through, man. Look forward to doing a full show with you next week, Daz.
Oh yeah, it'll be funny as fuck. Yes. When I actually know what the topics are, it'll be good.
Yeah. That'll definitely be a good thing. But yeah, I was your host, Dark Optimus, for the evening. It was a fun show. Daz, thanks for coming through. Pred, if you're out there, bro, thanks for coming in, and we appreciate it. And everyone in the chat, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're new to this channel. We really do appreciate it. We try to, we haven't really been doing much giveaways lately, but as soon as some of these other games start rolling through, we're probably going to be starting doing more giveaways and things like that. So definitely stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and if you see us around on Xbox or PlayStation, hit us up, guys. You know, we're here to game. That's what we do. So game with us.
Hit us up on Xbox or PlayStation. Doesn't matter. We game on all consoles.
Oh yeah, because I just got Ghost Recon for like $14, and these fuckers don't want to play it. So
get out of here.
Too many games.
Right, good night, everyone.
Peace.
Laters.